What's up guys? Today we are baling some thick 5052 sheet aluminum, but because the sheets are so large and so thick, we have to size it down with our mobile shear before we can run it through the baler. So let me show you how we're cutting it apart with the shear, and then we'll run it through the baler.
I'm going to try to set the camera up closer in a second so you can see it better, but essentially we're just picking up the sheets a couple at a time with the skid steer so that the shear can bite it easier instead of trying to pick it up out of the stack itself. Then he brings it over closer to the conveyor belt, cuts it in a couple places to size it down, and then it's ready to go on the belt. Guys finished cutting the material with the shear, which actually doesn't take that long because that machine can cut through so many pieces at one time. And now we are running the rest of the material up the conveyor belt. One thing we have to do is run this material thin, so we can only drop in about one or two sheets of this thick aluminum at a time so we don't overload the baler. And we're typically just running one piece at a time because this material is so thick, and you can see where the blades cut any of the material that does not fit fully in the hopper. Once the bales are finished, they are moved into the non-ferrous warehouse where they are put on pallets and weighed and put into inventory. These bales typically weigh somewhere between 1,300 and 1,600 pounds. And then once they're in inventory, we move them out into one of the storage trailers. The reason why we keep these in a storage trailer rather than out on the yard is because this material is moisture sensitive. If this material shows up at the aluminum mill and they find moisture in the bales, more than likely they will reject this material. And like I mentioned before, this material is all 5052, and typically speaking, we will hold this material until we have a full truckload, and then we will send it to the mill. Occasionally, the mills we're selling into will accept other materials with the 5052, so we may do a split load where half the truck is this material and half is a different material. Well guys, that's pretty much it for this one. I just wanted to show you how we process that really thick material, since we have to cut it with the shear before we can bale it. Typically speaking, at the baler, when we're baling aluminum or copper, wire, whatever the grade may be, all we have to do is sort it, put it on the conveyor belt and run it through. We don't have to take that additional step. So when we're purchasing material, we always have to be cautious on what the full input costs are going to be. So on that material, we have to account for the additional step of running the shear. But as always, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.